What's good, my people? Welcome back. Now, some of y'all know who this guy is right here. Some of y'all don't. But this is the artist formerly known as G Dep. He was signed to the Bad Boy roster back when Diddy was rebuilding his label. A lot of his artists had left, such as we all know Biggie Smalls got killed. The Notorious B.I.G. Mace left and became a pastor. Little Kim left. Faith Evans left. Actually, I heard Little Kim was never really directly signed to Bad Boy. It was like a secondary type signing. I may or may not be right about that. But anyway, she left and went to a different company. And Diddy began to kind of refashion his label with new artists, starting with Black Rob, right? Loon, Black Rob. A lot of people you never even heard of was on Bad Boy. Some of them just never really came out. So with G Dep, this guy is a case of that makes you think and wonder, man, because early 2000s, man, G Dep was like a frontline star in the hip hop industry, right? He had a song "Make This Money, Take This Money." He had a song called "Special Delivery," which most of y'all probably know him from that. And he had a nice hit on one of those albums called Danger Zone, which never really made the radio, but it was a hot song because Diddy had a hot sound. Bad Boy still got a nice sound, but back then they were on the cutting edge of taking hip hop from that grimy basement type sound to giving it a clean pop sound with a clean mix. The only other people that was really doing it like that at the time was Dre, and then of course Dre. I mean, basically Dre and Diddy. That's pretty much it. And of course the Rough Riders. But I would say this G Dep makes you wonder, and it's a case of somebody not being able to live with what they did. And I make this video not to condemn this brother. I say God bless, man. I pray for you and your family. But I make this video to say, people, you can't let situations bring you to do something that you feel like you're never gonna be able to forgive yourself. Now with G Dep, God bless this brother's soul, man. He's still alive, but I say God bless him, man, because he did something most people would not ever do. G Dep became a rising star. He was a multi-millionaire. He was right under Diddy. I actually think Diddy signed G Dep to kind of help bring Bad Boy back. Well, it's obvious that he did, and I think he was really the next. He was kind of like on that next roster, on that rising platform to go to be almost a superstar. You know what I'm saying? I honestly think he was really supposed to be the next Craig Mack. Because if you listen to Craig Mack and then you go and listen to G Dep, they sound alike. Just like I think Loon was supposed to be the new Mace. And of course Shine was supposed to be the new Big. I mean, it's obvious. The dude sounded just like Big. But getting back to the topic at hand. So with G Dep, he was a star. He had been a star for many years, making money, going on tour, famous rapper. He couldn't live with the fact that I don't know if it was an attempted robbery where he wound up shooting the guy that he attempted to rob. And this happened maybe, I would say 10 years prior to him becoming a star. But it's something that he just couldn't live with, right? And from what I hear about G Dep, I don't know him, but I hear he's very, very like a very humble brother. He comes from, poor background, from the streets. And it was just something that was eating him up. So what he did was, from what I heard through the grapevine, G Dep became a Christian. G Dep I think he had a battle with drug addiction and alcohol addiction. Even though he was, going on tour with Diddy and he was becoming a star, he just was not happy with himself and he wasn't happy with his life. And G Dep gave his life to Christ, man. But G Dep still had things going on in his past that was haunting him. Namely, this attempted robbery shooting that he did, which he didn't really know if the guy lived or died, because from what I understand, he did it when he was on a bicycle. And the guy dropped, he fled, and he never, it was just the unsolved crime, right? So basically, The guy tried to turn himself in 3 times. You know, from what I hear, he went down to the police station. He described the crime. They didn't know what was going on. They just didn't. They never even arrested him, because you know you can't just go confess to something and they just arrest you right then and there. They gotta have proof and evidence that you really did it, and they couldn't find it. So I think he mentioned to a cop one time, you know, they couldn't find what happened. Then he went down to the police station. They still didn't arrest him, and then finally they was able to dig up what happened, and then they finally went and arrested him. And so basically, you know, with G Dep, you know, he's doing a lot of time now in prison, because it did come about that he found out that the dude died. You know what I'm saying? So now he's doing time in prison. You can Google it. I mean, they had it on ABC News. You know what I'm saying? I think he got like 20 plus years for this crime that he committed. So what I want to do is, and I'm sure if Dep sees this video, he will approve of it, because, you know, I'm sure he would want the kids to know and the young people to know, don't do something that you're gonna regret, whether it's out of anger, whether it's out of, you know, you're starving, maybe you don't have nothing to eat, so you want to go sell rocks, or you feel like you want to go do a robbery, you know, because even if you become a Christian later and give your life to Christ, that's still out there, man. That's still out there. I was watching Joyce Meyer the other day, and she said, like, way back in the day, she was going with a guy that convinced her to it was something with bad check fraud. And, you know, I think something happened where she said the limitations had passed, and because she knew that she would needed to go to the next level as a minister, but I think she had a situation where she had to go and check with law enforcement. And she was cleared, I think, because of the statute of limitations. And she said if she didn't do that, she wouldn't be where she is today. So I pray for all involved, man. I pray for the victims' families, and who, you know, because that victim definitely did not deserve that. And I pray for G Dep, that God can still use him. He may be using him now. And it's a lesson to the young people to say, you know, you don't want to do something that you're going to regret, even though you became a Christian later. Because sometimes you still got to face those consequences. You know, God will help you through those consequences, and God will teach you and help you grow through those consequences. And God could even use it as an example to other people of how God can redeem you, and God can bring you out of things, and God can heal situations. But why go through that unnecessarily if you don't have to? So that's the end of my video. Listen, y'all can rate, comment, and subscribe. God bless, and I'm out.